In this use case, we are going to see how to create an item in the Kãsei application and then pass it through a workflow to validate the item and approve the item and finally load the item into Oracle Applications Cloud. The workflow has two roles, item create role and the item load role. Item create creates the item, validates the item and submits the item for approval. Item load role approves the item and loads the item into Oracle Applications Cloud through the SOAP API. We log on to Kasei using the authorized user, and we talked about two roles in the workflow, item create and item load. So we will log in using the item create role, and once we log into the role, we will use the item template to open the template and create an item. We are filling the needed columns for creating an item. First, the item is created in the master org, which is 000. Item numbers typically have some kind of a logic for generating the item numbers. So it could be like either a serial number or prefixed with some characters and so on. But here we are just going to randomly assign manually an item number, and we are filling in the other fields which are required to complete an item creation, like the unit of measure, the life cycle phase, and item status, and so on. Once all the necessary fields are completed, the record is saved in Kasei for the item organization 000. Now we are creating the item for the inventory organization M001, which is Seattle maintenance, where the same item will be copied and created. Typically, we can use some of the Kasei functions to copy data from one org to another org, but here we are manually creating it just to show how it works. Okay. So we are filling in all the values as needed, and then we are going to save the record. So we get a confirmation message from the system that the records are saved. Once the records are saved, they can be validated by clicking on the validate button, which kicks off the workflow, and if there is successful validation, the records will be having a status of validate complete. Now the next step in the workflow is to submit the records which are successfully validated by clicking on the submit button, and these records will be submitted for approval and loading. These records are no longer available for this role to act on because they moved on to the item load role. Now we change the role to item load role and see that the records are showing up there for action. The records have a workflow status of submitted for approval. We choose the record and click on the button for approval. The records can be rejected also based on what the data contains. If somebody wants to reject them, they can reject, but in this case we are going to approve the records for further action. We get a successful message, and we also see that the workflow status is moved to approved for load. Now we choose both the records and click on load button to load the records into Oracle Applications Cloud. We get a successful validation message from the workflow. We can also see that for successfully loaded records, the item ID column is populated and successful messages are populated, and this ID comes back from the Oracle Applications Cloud. To load an item, we need to use the SOAP API, and the SOAP messages are also populated in the interface message column, and the interface status says success. Now we can log on to Oracle Applications Cloud to see whether the records are successfully created there. We log in with the authorized user and password combination, and we click on the product information management icon to look at the items. In the item management menu, we click on browse items option. Once we are on browse items page, we can copy the item from Kãsei that was submitted and then put it here and click on the search button to search for the item. We do see two records here. The same item is created in organization 000 and M001. Now we can click on an item record to open it up further. We can verify all the fields that were submitted through Kãsei in the application cloud and make sure that they are correctly entered. Having successfully verified that the item is populated correctly in Oracle Applications Cloud, we can log out of the cloud applications and also from Kãsei. In this video, we saw how we can import records into Kãsei applications from an Excel spreadsheet or a CSV file and pass them through a workflow for validation and approvals, and finally load them into Oracle Maintenance Cloud. Thank you for watching. You can visit our website hamiltonianusa.com and also subscribe to our YouTube channel to learn more about our products.